All right, let's dive into everything going on with the Dallas Cowboys during this recent OTA session. And yeah, we got to start with the headline that's been lingering for way too long now. Micah Parsons and his ongoing absence from team activities. Once again, the star linebacker was nowhere to be found during the open practice that the media got access to. And at this point, it's not just about missing a few reps. It's becoming a real situation, and fans are understandably feeling some frustration set in. Let's be clear, these OTAs are not mandatory. Players are not obligated to be there. But in a team culture where leadership, consistency, and setting the tone matter, especially for a defense that needs to come in sharp, it raises eyebrows when your franchise player isn't showing up consistently. Parsons has been in and out, mostly out when the team isn't explicitly pushing for his presence. If you've been tracking things, you know that when offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer says, "Hey Micah, we really need you at this one," he's there. But otherwise, crickets. Now look, nobody's saying Micah doesn't care. We know how dominant he is. We know how much he wants to win. But let's not pretend this isn't about the contract. He's in a holding pattern, waiting for that next big payday. And honestly, who can blame him? He's more than earned it with what he's done on the field these last few seasons. But here's the issue. This whole thing feels like it's dragging on way longer than it needs to. If the Cowboys really wanted to wrap this up, they could. Everyone involved knows the ballpark number it's going to take. This isn't some massive mystery negotiation where both sides are miles apart. The blueprint is already out there. It's going to be a record-breaking deal. It's going to reset the market, and we all know it. So why are we waiting? That's the part that gets under fans' skin. This doesn't need to be a summer-long drama. It could be done tomorrow if the front office just stepped up and made it happen. Instead, it feels like they're doing what they always do, stalling, hoping the price comes down, banking on a shift that isn't coming. But here's the reality. The longer they wait, the more leverage the player gets. That's how it's gone in the past, and that's how it's going to go here too. And look, let's not make this another Cowboys front office doesn't care rant, even though sometimes it really feels that way. The truth is they made this harder on themselves. Micah has shown up for some leadership stuff. You can tell he's trying to strike that balance. He knows he's a captain type guy now. He knows what his presence means, but you can also tell he's tired of waiting. If he had a deal in place, he'd probably be out there more often. Right now, though, he's got one eye on that contract and one eye on keeping himself healthy. You can't blame him for that. Let's be honest, mandatory minicamp is coming up, and that'll be the real test. If Parsons is still sitting out, at that point, now we've got something serious brewing. Then it becomes a bigger distraction, something that hangs over the team. Right now, it's just a frustration, a thing people grumble about, but in a few weeks, this could be full-blown tension. And it's not like the Cowboys are unfamiliar with this song and dance. We've seen this pattern before. They slow play contract. Extensions, the media starts buzzing, fans get annoyed, and eventually the player gets his deal. That's the cycle. So again, why drag it out? Get the man paid, lock him in, avoid the noise. Now shifting to something more positive, let's talk about Tyler Guyton. He's been one of the bright spots in these OTAs. You could hear it straight from Schottenheimer's comments. The coordinator was asked about someone else entirely and still went out of his way to praise Guyton. That tells you something. He said Guyton's been working hard, looks great, and has been locked in all offseason. And that's not fluff. This is the kind of praise that comes from seeing a young player respond to pressure. This is a big year for Guyton. He knows it. The Cowboys know it. They used a first-round pick on the guy, and that carries expectations. The offensive line doesn't have the luxury of time. They need to be good from day one. And if your left tackle is shaky, your whole offense can unravel. But everything we're hearing so far is encouraging. Guyton hasn't missed a day, was one of the first guys back in the building, and is clearly embracing the professional mindset. Schottenheimer even mentioned that the changes brought in by new offensive line coach Clayton Adams are helping. You can tell there's a renewed energy. Last year, things fell off. The coaching on the offensive line wasn't up to par. But now, with a better system in place and Guyton putting in the work, there's reason to believe he could take a leap. It's not just about talent. It's about confidence. And there were definitely some confidence issues with Guyton last year. The raw tools have always been there, but he looked hesitant, unsure. Now, He's locked in, he's focused, and the coaching staff is noticing. That matters. It matters in a big way. There's a difference between being in shape and being in football shape, and Guyton seems to understand that now. He's not just showing up, he's showing out. And maybe, just maybe, Schottenheimer's public praise is part of a bigger strategy. Maybe he's trying to build Guyton up, give him that extra push in front of the cameras, in front of the media. Because let's face it, confidence can be fragile in young players. A little encouragement can go a long way, especially when they're trying to turn the page from a rough rookie season. Speaking of turning pages, let's talk linebackers. In the nickel packages during these OTAs, it's been Kenneth Murray and Jack Sanborn getting the starting reps. That might surprise some people, but it actually makes a lot of sense when you look closer. Murray is the most expensive linebacker on the roster right now, at least when it comes to cap hit. He's also the most experienced. He's got all the physical tools you could ask for. The question is whether he can finally put it all together and become more than just a guy with great traits. Sanborn is a different story. He knows the Eberflus system well from his time in Chicago. He wasn't a starter there, but he was right behind some really talented guys. He came to Dallas on a lower deal, probably because he saw a clearer path to playing time. And that familiarity with the scheme is giving him a head start. Don't be shocked if he's more involved than people expect early on. Meanwhile, Darren Bland continues to get a lot of run in the slot, and that's worth keeping an eye on. He's been lining up inside consistently during the media open practices. The team keeps saying they're rotating guys, trying things out, and that's true to an extent. But when one guy is lining up in the slot every single time the cameras are rolling, that tells you he's probably locked into that role. So if Bland is your nickel corner, who's playing outside? That's where it gets interesting. And little thin. With Trevon Diggs still rehabbing and not expected to be fully ready for week 1, the options get real slim real fast. Israel Mukuamu is still around and taking some nickel reps, but if Bland is ahead of him consistently, that puts Mukuamu back in that backup role. Utility safety, special teams, depth piece. Guys like Juan Thomas and CJ Goodwin have seen some slot action too, but again, it feels like Bland is the favorite. And if that's the case, you need someone else to step up outside. One name that keeps popping up is Nahshon Wright, but another who's been making plays consistently is second-year cornerback Eric Scott Jr. He's had multiple pass breakups. In the practices open to media, it seems like he's positioning himself for a real shot at a starting spot. If he keeps this up, especially with Diggs out, he could be the one lining up opposite whoever the other outside guy ends up being. Let's swing over to the running back room real quick. Miles Sanders made a little noise with a couple of nice plays, a solid run up the middle, and a burst on a screen pass that got some attention. Look, it's May. It's early. Nobody's handing out rushing titles in OTAs. But that burst is something the Cowboys haven't had a ton of in recent years. If Sanders can bring some juice to the passing game, that might be his biggest contribution. This backfield is going to be a committee. That much is clear. We won't know who's really separating themselves until we get to training camp and the pads come on. That's when you see who can run behind their pads, who can take contact and keep going. Until then, it's all glimpses and potential. There's also some chatter about Joe Milton and his performance. It's been a mixed bag, which isn't shocking. He's the kind of player who can make a jaw-dropping throw 1 minute and completely miss a basic one the next. It's the Joe Milton experience. The tools are undeniable, only arm strength is absurd, but the consistency isn't there yet. That's something to watch as we get deeper into the offseason. He'll get plenty of reps in preseason, and it's going to be wild one way or another. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In a stunning turn of events that has sent shockwaves through the NFL, whispers are swirling that Jordan Love, the Green Bay Packers' promising quarterback, has reportedly reached an agreement with the Dallas Cowboys. This potential move, if confirmed, could reshape the landscape of the league and leave fans and analysts alike scrambling to understand the implications. Sources close to the matter have hinted that the Cowboys are aggressively pursuing Love, aiming to bolster their quarterback roster and secure a future franchise leader, which would mark a bold statement in their ongoing quest for dominance. Jordan. Love, who has been seen as the heir apparent to Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, has had a complicated tenure with the Packers, marked by both anticipation and frustration over limited starting opportunities. The rumors suggest that Love's desire for a fresh start and a clear path to a starting role might have driven the negotiations with Dallas. The Cowboys, known for their high-profile moves and willingness to invest in top talent, seem to view Love as a strategic acquisition, capable of energizing their offense and challenging their current quarterback situation. NFL insiders speculate that this move could also signify a shift in the Cowboys' long-term strategy, possibly signaling a departure from their previous quarterback plans. The franchise has long been on the lookout for a definitive leader under center, and securing Love could provide that much-needed spark. Meanwhile, Green Bay fans are reportedly reeling from the possibility of losing a young talent once heralded as the future face of the franchise, sparking debates about the Packers' management and their vision moving forward. While no official announcement has been made, the buzz around the league is unmistakable. Analysts are already discussing how Love's playing style might mesh with the Cowboys' offensive schemes and what this means for the NFC East rivalry dynamics. Should the deal go through, it would mark one of the most surprising quarterback moves in recent memory and potentially set the stage for a new chapter in NFL quarterback rivalries. As the offseason progresses, all eyes will be on the Cowboys and Packers organizations for confirmation or denial. Until then, the NFL community remains captivated by this unfolding saga, with fans eagerly anticipating the ripple effects this possible blockbuster deal might unleash. The Jordan Love to Dallas Cowboys story is developing into one of the most intriguing rumors of the year, promising plenty of drama and speculation in the weeks ahead. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.